Matt's all, goodbye to this wall.
Babe, we don't need this closet. We need a shower.
Forget it. Welcome to Okayish Advice, and I'm Mila, aka Mama Mila. And here on our podcast, we've been through life, and I love bringing people on who have had like life experiences, and we're gonna give you advice to your questions. Is it the best advice? I don't know, but it's advice from people who have lived life, and that's all that matters. So today, yay, I'm so excited, okay? And this is going to be like a warning for you. Do not listen to this with children in the room.
Yeah.
Because we are going to be talking, we're in our marriage little series, and we're going to be talking about intimacy and sex. So this is something that you don't want to listen to with like little ears. If you're prude, I don't know, don't listen. But I think that it's something that needs to be discussed. And so this is Tanya. And
Hi.
I was talking to one of my previous guests, Christy, my neighbor with the red hair. They both have red hair. And I was telling her, like, I am going to have this episode and I want to talk about like sex and, and I'm like, who do you think I should bring on? Without a hesitation.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
She just threw me right in there.
She was like, here we go. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
okay. I'm like, because I need it from like a godly perspective, but somebody who's not afraid to say like the hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about your personality.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, no, it's because I know how hard it is to sometimes be like a bold person.
Yeah.
Well,
or always being scrutinized.
yes.
So you're not afraid to talk about the things, but then people are like, what is she always talking about the things for?
Yeah. No, it's so
Yeah.
true. So, okay.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going headfirst into our first question,
Lord.
which is, which I think everyone can relate to.
Yep.
In the hustle and bustle of life, jobs, kids, etc., how do you keep intimacy alive in your marriage?
Okay. So I have a couple of answers. Would
Okay,
you like a
let's
couple
go.
of answers?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got time.
When we were probably in year 0 to 5 years, I found a book called The Power of a Praying Wife. Have you heard of this book?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I love
Stormy
this book.
O'Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Stormy. I love her so much. So I read the book. One of the chapters is about sex, and she makes a comment about if you're a young mom or you have littles at home, about how difficult, or maybe not difficult, but how sometimes you don't want to have that. Right. So
Yeah.
you're
It's like the last thing on your
it's
priority.
the last thing, especially like if you're nursing or if you have kids that don't sleep and all
Yes.
this. Okay. So she says in the book to initiate.
Okay.
And I never thought about this. So literally, so he's not a beggar. You initiate, and you can prep to initiate. Wear the same perfume. Oh, I have a funny story about the perfume. Wear the same perfume that night. Hop in the shower before you're going to initiate, and get ready and pray and ask God to help you if you are tired or you just feel overwhelmed or whatever. And so the perfume story. This is so weird. Celine Dion came out with a perfume like. I don't even know if she still has a perfume, but anyhow, she had a perfume, and I don't wear perfume, but I bought this perfume and I said, this is going to be my sex perfume. And I kid you not, I would wear it every time we were going to have sex, whether Mark was initiating, it didn't matter. If I felt like we were going to do it that night, I would put this perfume on. Okay. We went somewhere one time, like somewhere dinner or something. And I thought, I'll put my perfume on to be like
feel
spicy.
Sexy. Yeah.
Yes. Literally, I put it on. We're in the car and he goes, Ton, are we going to do it in the car? I'm like, no. Why? He's like, your perfume. And it didn't dawn on me that I had conditioned him with the smell that meant we were going to have sex. And we probably did have sex in the car.
I
anyway.
love this so much.
Like
me in my mind
driving.
taking notes. All right.
So
love
that
perfume. So
intimacy as you get, as you're longer married, I think it changes because you go from being worn out and tired, right? From having littles. Yeah. And we're not in that stage now. We have only 2 teenagers left at home, and it's different. So now it's like, okay, so this is just for real. I'm like, babe, if we don't have sex by 9 o'clock, we can't have sex. I'm so tired, right? So I'm also premenopause or in menopause or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just make sure, I love to have sex in the shower. Do you guys like to have sex in the shower?
No, I feel like I'm going to die.
Why?
Because like,
No, it's
it's
slippery.
so dangerous.
No, zero danger. It's so fun. Okay, anyway.
Well,
So
you're skinnier than me. I'm thick.
please, I am thick too. Okay, anyhow.
Okay.
So this is what I'm like, babe, you want to meet in the shower? And he's like, yes, that's how. So now it's like,
Oh my God. I walked in on my parents in the shower one time.
What?
This makes so much sense. Oh my God.
so it's either by 9 but just not letting too much time go on. Okay,
Yeah.
so the point of all from the beginning to now is not to let too much time go by.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't want him to always feel like he's begging. Then you also don't want to get dried up. Oh, I have a good story about getting dried up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's
how
go.
old
We're
are you?
doing it.
How old are you?
35. Oh, I just turned 35.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm 47. I'll be 48 soon. And anyway, so I have a friend. I won't say her name. So other people. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's like, Tanya, you have to have sex regularly. And he has to. I just feel so, it's going to be out there.
Finish?
He has to, yes, there, not somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually just read a scientific study about this.
Yes,
how
because
it keeps
we need
everything.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Lubricated, and you have the proper hormones and all the things.
Yes.
Okay.
God knew what
So
he was
she's
doing.
like, Tanya, if you don't have sex and enough, and you don't let that happen, finish that way, you're gonna get dry. And she's like, and this is what it's like. He can't get in there. And she did this. Right, we're at dinner, fancy dinner. She does this, and I'm like, so now it's like, babe, we can only ever have that kind of sex. Like, you have to be there, you have to finish there. You can't be doing
You can't be crazy.
we can't go crazy anymore. Because
Oh
my
my
vagina
gosh.
needs it.
Dude,
You're still
it
young
makes,
though, so you're fine.
No, but it makes sense. Listen, okay, all my friends are like older than me.
Yeah.
And I am like so terrified that like my hormones will be raging and then like Matt won't be like
Yes.
able to perform. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I see it in so many people, not in my friends. Sorry, I'm not calling anybody out. But like I'm always asking them, like, you guys are doing it, right? Like, I don't wanna
I
be
ask.
like,
That's literally one of my closest circle of friends. I check in. We check in with each other all the time about that. Are you doing it? How? Okay. When's the last time you did it? How many days do you let go by?
I think that also before we started recording, Tanya, you said to me like, we talk about everything else and you use the analogy of like breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Explain what you said to me.
Oh, yeah. About women, you mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like God made community for a reason, right? You and I are talking right now about something that people don't talk about usually.
Yeah.
Or maybe it feels like people don't talk about it, but they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like with breastfeeding, if you don't have a mom, for example, to teach you how to breastfeed.
Yes.
The chances are you're going to do what your mom did. So my mom didn't breastfeed, right? She formula fed, and my grandma formula fed. And which is, I'm no shame, by the way, on the formula feeding. I'm just saying. I didn't learn to breastfeed because of my mom. My sister-in-law literally sat behind me and straddled my naked body, held my breast, and taught me how to breastfeed.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned how to breastfeed. And if we don't have that a community or even just a family that's willing to talk about things, we don't learn things.
Right.
So something that one of the reasons why I really like talking about sex stuff with women is because it is amazing to me how many women don't have orgasms.
No, it's so true.
And okay, like I know women who have been married 15 years and have never. Or I knew one gal at 7 years, she was crying and she said, I think something's wrong with me. And I asked her why. And she explained that she had never had an orgasm. And I said, oh no, nothing's wrong with you. You just don't know how to get there. And literally I walked her through that. Sounds so weird. But I mean,
No.
like if you don't know and if you don't have somebody talk to you about it, how are you going to know?
Right. Right.
So yeah. So like with breastfeeding or anything, it's like God gives us community.
Yeah.
So we can figure stuff out and do life in a way that your marriage is healthy, your relationships are healthy, and you need that for that.
No, it's so true. It's sex is such a big part of marriage.
Yeah.
And I think, actually that's going to go into the next question, but really fast in answering the first question. Because I think I like it when we both answer like all the questions.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you guys do?
Matt and I are always together. Like, honestly, we're always at the restaurant.
Yes.
We're always, so it's easy for me to be like, I need space or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think that Matt and I keep it spicy by, this might be bad, but like I'm always teasing him. I'm constantly saying something inappropriate in his ear at the worst times.
Okay, like flirting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do stuff like that too.
Always like,
not as much.
And I always love, like, when I walk by him, I always make sure that I touch him because, like, I mean, there's even scientific studies that talk about physical touch and how it brings like the hormones, of wanting to be close and intimate with your partner. And so I'm like always rubbing his back or, trying to touch him. And I mean, I joke a lot about, like, if I take off a sock, Matt thinks that, it's time.
It's time.
But the reality is I love it. I'm like, yes, be obsessed with me.
Well, right. And because isn't that part of it? So we have our part as women, but the husbands also have a part.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it. I love that he's obsessed with me.
Yeah.
He's always been so good to me, no matter, when I was 100 pounds heavier, he just thought I was like the sexiest thing alive.
I love that. Yeah.
And I think it's just, really like trying to like foster that connection and like with the kids and just, like locking the door.
Yeah.
Making sure that, we have time together. And it's so hard, like, especially when you have little babies and like everything, but it brings you like such a connection,
Well, it's making it a priority.
Yeah.
So in
really
those early years,
I
made it a priority the way, I explained already. So, and by putting, something that I've noticed, which is probably so hard I feel like there's this new movement in young families where you co-sleep with your kids. And I don't care that anybody co-sleeps. Yeah. No.
I'm like, bye, Pearl.
Yeah.
She's 7.
Like,
we'll see ya.
Yes. No, seriously. But so then think about how even just that, like having to figure out what to do with a co-sleeping child or you have to be sneaky or you have to meet here, Yeah. So just being
That's why
aware.
You got the shower.
Yeah, and make the part. Girl, the shower. Nobody's in the shower but you and your spouse.
I think I have a small shower. That's my problem.
Oh, you need a big shower then.
Oh, if I told Matt to remodel.
For that reason?
Yeah.
You'd have a big old shower.
I probably have. Matt's all, goodbye to this wall.
Oh my. Babe, we don't need this closet. We need a shower.
Forget it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He totally would too.
Well, I have some friends who just had a house built and they have a beautiful shower. I was like, have you guys had sex in the shower? They're like, Tanya, no, stop. But I'm like, that's what I thought of.
I would put one of those, like, you know how they call it for shaving ledges?
Oh, yeah, we have the ledge.
Oh.
We love the ledge.
That's why you love the shower.
We love the ledge. Well, listen, we used to have a tiny shower. We just crammed in there.
Oh, my God. I just, like, one time I accidentally, like, initiated, like, the shower while I had conditioner in my hair.
Oh my gosh, and then your eyes are burning?
No, I almost slipped and died.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my God, like this is the worst. Like that was so dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's slippery in there, it gets a little,
yeah.
And then your thighs start to burn. It's like a real workout.
It really is though. I don't know if I have that kind of energy in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, because are you a morning shower?
Yeah.
Okay, we're night showers, so it's perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, it's perfect because it's I'll meet you in the shower, and also you're clean.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Maybe.
But if your kids are not up in the morning, the shower could be key.
That could be it.
Yeah, because no interruption.
Yeah. I like this idea. Little notes. Okay.
All right.
So you're asking me the next one.
Okay. So I was raised in a home where shame was cultivated around sex, and it was a subject we didn't talk about. I have such a hard time expressing my needs to my husband in the bedroom. Do you have any advice?
Damn. Yes. This is so great because I feel like, a lot of times in like the Christian culture, it's all about, being modest, you know, and which, of course, I'm not going into this, but there is such shame around bodies and which is also cultivated by society.
Yeah. Culture is the worst.
Like literally the worst.
Culture is the absolute worst.
And so for me, I felt like my mom gave me the talk with a Harlequin romance book.
Oh. She said, read this?
Yeah. She's like, here you go.
Are you serious?
So, I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
I was like, what? Like, I mean, I had to like put it all, together.
Yeah.
And my family, my nonna was, of course, very like, we don't talk about it. We don't, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. One time I walked into the restaurant for my shift, and my nonna, she's like, Maria Lisa, psst, come here. I'm like, okay. I walk over there, and she goes, I was watching Dateline. I said, oh no. And she goes, I found out what a tongue ring is for.
Oh, what is a tongue ring for?
Well, that's what I said. And she goes, oral sex. I said, no.
Are you serious? Your Nonna is saying this
My
to
nonna
you?
said this to me. And I
Oh my
was just married. And she goes,
And you were just married?
yeah. And she goes, if your grandfather ever asked me to do that, I'd put a nail there. I was like, okay. So that's how like I was raised.
Oh my gosh.
We don't talk about it.
Right.
Oh my God. One time when Matt and I were first married, she just walked into our house and Matt and I were on the couch. And you know what she told me? I was struggling with infertility. And she goes, that's why you're not getting pregnant. It's only to be done at nighttime.
Oh
So
my
that's where
gosh,
I was
Mila.
at. I know. Which is funny, you know, because
Now it is.
yeah, it's funny now.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so that's where I was. So I had to come through not only like the shame of my body from being bullied by my family, bullied by people at school, bullied by society.
Yeah.
But also like, you know, that and living in that and then feeling totally confused because I love romance books,
Okay.
you know, and I'm like, well, what do I, you know, whatever. So I really had to like work through it and learn like how to express what I needed to Matt. And I just kind of had to like look at myself in the mirror and talk amazing to my body and just be like, this is what I love about you, you know, and just work through that and be able to be open like with my husband. And I found friends like who, you know, like us, like sitting here talking about it, like that made me feel like I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's something that is just to be enjoyed
Yeah.
with your spouse.
Right. Well, and I always think too, I learned weird sex things from pornography at an early age. So I'm not saying
That's
I'm
so
some
prevalent
sex,
right now too.
Yeah, I'm not like a sex expert or anything like that, but I saw and knew things way before I think a child should see and know things.
Yeah.
So then, then you have the whole part of your brain where it's like, how do you know what you even want? So for example, how do you know what's not wrong or what's not dirty, right? Or how do you know what to ask for? Because it's started in an unhealthy way or was introduced in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Mark and I feel like, I don't know, in the very, very beginning, I can't remember, not to be like crude or anything, I just can't remember tons of orgasms in the beginning. We started having babies like right away, and I just don't remember. I'm sure it happened, but somewhere I would say around year 8 or 9, when our kids were a little bit older, that
I was like, please don't bring our daughter by right now.
Oh my gosh.
I think she has to go to the bathroom. Okay. Thank God
you're
she
gonna like
doesn't
do all
know.
the cutting out and all that. Okay, great.
We're probably not going to edit this out, to
Great.
be honest with you.
Oh, great. Okay.
we just roll. This
Yeah, you
is
just
real
roll it.
life.
Yeah, you roll
There
with it.
goes Matt.
Yeah, okay. But I do remember thinking, how do I say every time we have sex, I want to have an orgasm too?
Yeah.
I was having them, just it's like not every time. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then you think to yourself,
And that's like normal.
right.
Like-
or 0 is normal.
Yeah.
It's weird. But how do you know if you don't know? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know if you don't know? So I remember thinking, how do I even say this to Mark without bruising his ego?
Yeah.
Because that's not the intent either.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you tell him?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but I do remember saying like I probably just said something like, every time we have sex, I want to have an orgasm too. Oh my gosh. You know what? I read a book. Have you read this book, Girl Wash Your Face? By,
I always see it at Target.
okay. Yes. Oh, I can't think of her name. Anyhow, she wrote Girl Wash Your Face. I remember I read a chapter in that book. This was probably 8 years ago. I don't know how old the book is at this point. And she talked about how she had either not had very many orgasms or rarely had them or maybe, I don't know, something like that.
Sounds like Herman Munster just walking by.
Yep.
Jeez.
So she says in a whole chapter that she talked to her husband at the time. His name was Dave. He actually just passed away.
Oh, God.
Anyway, but yeah, like super
sad.
young. I know. Anyway, but she had told her husband Dave, I want to focus on my. This sounds so weird. She's like, I want to focus on my orgasm because she either never was having them or something. And they devoted, I think, a certain amount of time to every day making sure she had an orgasm every day.
Wow.
Yeah, for like a month or something. And then they had this thing called Sexy September, and I did this. I took this challenge with Mark, and we only had Sexy September. You have sex every day for all of
Matt
September.
and I did something like that before too.
We got to day 17, and I just felt like I can't handle that anymore down there. I need a break.
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle one more thing.
Yeah.
Just keep everything out of there.
I remember I was taking maca to get pregnant, for my hormones or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. I take that. I love it. In menopause, it helps.
Mm-hmm. And the side effect of it is that it makes you, ready. Well, I'm not even kidding you. Matt and I think it was like 45 days straight.
Oh, my gosh.
And
your vagina is strong. Because
No.
at day 17, I was like, babe, I need a for real break.
Oh my God. I think it was just my hormones were actually working.
Yeah.
And I remember he locked himself in the bathroom and was like, I need some time away from you.
Are you serious? That is awesome. Oh my God.
I mean, granted, this was before we had kids.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh my gosh. 45 days, girl. That's strong.
I know.
That's strong right there.
That will never happen again. I'm like, no. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like being, open and honest.
Yeah.
And, just knowing that it is okay to be attracted to your husband.
Yep.
It's okay to want to have a good sex life,
Yep.
Yep. And
and you should strive for it. Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
Like God.
And it's godly.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so all of people who are believers, why are they the least, I'm not saying they are, but why does it appear that they're the least either vocal or attracted to their spouse or active with their spouse when God gave us sex?
Yes.
Like he gave it. He made the clitoris, okay? He made it all. And why don't we not celebrate it, I guess is the wrong word maybe, but why don't we celebrate it?
Yeah.
Not celebrate it, but do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. Why aren't we more comfortable about it? Why is it so taboo?
And why don't our kids think, oh my word, I can't wait to get married and be like my parents. My parents are happy and they have fun together and they have, they don't know how much you have sex, but they are aware that that's part of a good marriage.
Yeah. And they know that you have an intimacy with each other.
Right.
Even if they can't, don't know the details of it. They know that you guys are close.
Do you guys have a date night?
Yeah. Matt and I try really hard.
Yeah.
We just went away for 3 days.
Oh, yeah. For your birthday.
For my birthday. It was so fun. And so needed.
Yeah.
Because life is crazy. I don't think that it's going to get easier.
Yeah.
We're just, these are the times, the end times, whatever. I'm not going into that. But so making each other a priority is so huge.
Yeah.
And also I want to say, if God didn't intend for us to have sex, the enemy wouldn't use it so strongly in the world.
I hear you.
Pornography's free.
Yep.
Everything to taint it is so
is
accessible.
Done. Yep.
So I just don't get it. Why don't you just use it for what God intended it to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I think we're consumers about it. It's such a consumer part of our culture, not the pornography, although that also is part of it, but the sex part of it. And so then we have this mentality that it's something you have to either work for or you can punish with, or you know what I mean? It's not a gift.
Right.
It's something you have to acquire or purchase. Mm-hmm. And we hold that over our spouses, I think sometimes. And I don't know. Lots of things.
This might be a little controversial, but a lot of people who I'm no longer friends with would use it as a tool of manipulation.
Yes. I have some friends who in the past have said stuff about that. And they haven't had sex for months. Wow. Months. They're doing, this is them right now.
Yes.
There's nothing's going on.
Nothing's happening. There ain't
it's so dry. Because if you don't,
there's no way. And like, I don't know, that just, I would think, I don't know. I feel like God has like put in me the want, and I would be so sad if Matt and I didn't do it as often as we do.
Yeah.
You know what
it's
I mean?
heartbreaking. Yeah.
Like it would, I feel loved and cherished and valued.
Right.
Because we have that connection.
Yes. Yep.
You know? And it's, I don't know. And it gets, I know a lot of people are like, and it's been like this for a long time, I think, just maybe society, just people talking in general, but they're always like, oh, enjoy that honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
I would like to say that if you guys have open communication, it gets better.
Yeah. No, sex gets so much better.
Oh my gosh.
In the beginning, it's
so
just fun.
Better.
Like we used to have quickies in the closet, quickies in the car, whatever. But then you get older and it's so much better. It's so much better. Yes. I feel like it's so much better.
Yeah, because you know who knows your body better than someone you've been with forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's the, you know, I always think about this. It's the only thing I can do with Mark that I can't do with anybody else.
Oh,
I can't do that with anybody else. I can hold your hand.
Yeah.
I could kiss you if you wanted to kiss. I could go shopping with you. I could cuddle you in bed, watch a movie with you.
Right.
But the only person I'm intimate with is Mark.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I would never withhold that from him. He would probably, I mean, we've never withheld it. So it's not probably I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like if you withhold that, it's almost like a punishment.
Yeah. That's not cool.
Yeah. It's not. It's not cool at all.
That's not cool.
No, and then, you know what? And if you don't have a lot of sex in the younger years, when menopause has come.
Yeah.
You have to like, you already have to have the ground, you know, the whatever, so you can talk about all the things that are hard to talk about. Because menopause is not fun and you don't want to be the dry and all the things. And
no, it's so true though.
So if you already have it, like if you already have all those years behind you, it's
like a foundation.
Like a foundation.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
When I was even reading, like I was listening to this lady yesterday, in fact, and she was saying like when menopause hits, like you, in order to even have a sex life, like you have to like it's like you're exercising that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to do it like mentally. Like she talked about everything. She talked about lubrication and la la la. And I'm like, damn, I better make sure I'm all right now.
It is so true. I'm telling you, it's so true.
I'm like,
if you have the groundwork done when that comes, and it comes for men too, but in a different way, like where their testosterone drops and stuff. So if you already have it done, the groundwork laid, it's so much easier. To
I'm
navigate
gonna be like,
through.
Matt, I have a special smoothie for you. It's got like Testo Jack in there.
That is so funny. He's hard for like 5 days. Like nothing helps. That would be like, the worst.
What did she do to me?
It's like these guys taking the pill Viagra.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. When that first happened, they would be in the hospital for a long time.
Oh my God. Don't they have to put a needle in there and like drain it?
Please, I don't know the answer. I don't know.
I
just
like,
know that it
that
happens.
Is so scary.
Just take the maca stuff.
Lord Jesus. I'm so grateful for Matt. Thank you.
Gosh, amen.
So our last and final
question
is, do you have any advice on having the talk with my kids?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so I'm a big reader. I read the book How to Talk to Your Kids About Sex way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it was different than I thought it would be. And so she sets it up this way. When you have toddlers, you talk to your children about how God made the flowers, God made the grass, and you go for walks. You talk about how God made the trees and the sky and all the things, right? God made it all. And then as they get a little older, you talk about other things that God made, and he made their bodies and he made this. And then when they're old enough to understand and you say that God made sex for marriage, it's like, it's so ingrained that it's a gift from God, that their body will be a gift to their spouse and vice versa, that it's just a natural progression. It was the best book I've ever read. I probably bought that book for 10 friends.
Where were you 8 months ago?
I don't know. I was here, but somewhere. I don't know.
Oh my God. I came home from the restaurant one night. I'm over here and I'm just washing my face. Gemma sits down on the toilet.
Yep.
Because, you know, kids. Mm-hmm. And she goes, Mom, can you get pregnant before you're married? And I just looked at her and I was like, all right, this is a complicated question. I said, how much do you know?
Yeah.
You know?
How old is Gemma?
She is 11.
Okay.
And Gia is 12.
Okay, and Gia's 12.
Yeah. And so Gia was in here on my bed and I'm in there like washing my face and, you know, and I just turned around and I said, hey, what do you guys know? And they're like, what do you mean? And Gia, of course, you know, she's been a reader forever.
Right.
And she was like, well, I know about, you know, so I pulled up the diagram of what a woman looks like and what a man looks like and, you know, whatever. And I did it like scientifically.
Yep.
And like I had purposely taught my kids the, oh my God, I'm sorry. Anatomically, is that the right word?
Anatomically correct.
Yeah, because I had read a study that said that predators won't go after children who say like the correct words.
Yes.
And so
because they know there's a parent missing. Otherwise.
Yes. Yeah. And like, and then the kid can say like, you know, they touched my penis or they, you know.
Right.
And so I did do that with the girls, but so I just kind of talked to them about it and I didn't want to shame them about their body in any way. So the way, and I didn't want to, because I think purity culture is so like abusive and manipulated a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's not gone like, it's not done in a way that's like pleasing to the Lord. It's done in a way of manipulation and a lot of like, you know, church settings, like cults, whatever, you know what I mean? So when I went to them, I didn't like tell them like, hey, it is a sin, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know, I went to them and I said, you know, use like my sisters as an example of having like, you know, different different kids with different men.
Okay.
Like no shame to anybody, but this is how I talk to my sisters. Okay. I mean, this is how I talk to my kids. Like they know my sisters we don't have a relationship. But I told her, I was like, you know, like you want to be married so that you have that commitment from somebody.
Right.
And that's the way that I went about it.
Right.
Well, after I have this talk with them and like, I'm like, the connection happens. And they're like, and I'm like, no, like there's a connect, you know, so then I explained it. You know what Gia said to me?
Nope.
She goes, how long am I allowed to live here? And I said, what? I said, we're Italian. You can live here forever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, that doesn't sound enjoyable at all. So I'm going to be a single Pringle forever.
The connection
that sounds
didn't sound
awful.
enjoyable.
And I was just like, oh, crap. So then I'm like trying to backpedal.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was just like, okay, no, like it's amazing. Like you say that now, but you know, you don't have the hormones yet. Like you don't like understand, you know? And she's like, oh, good. Like, no.
That's so funny.
You know? So like, I felt so bad. I felt like I really butchered it.
You didn't butcher it.
Like,
and it's normal for, she's not even through puberty. So you didn't butcher. And actually being correct about the terminology and the actual act is so I learned years ago that if you don't tell them the correct things, somebody will tell them the wrong things. They'll believe the wrong things.
Wow.
Okay. So you didn't butcher anything. And I did the same thing with we had boys for years and then we adopted. Now we have girls too, but originally we just had 4 boys. And I used to tell my boys everything about boners. I mean, everything that I could think of, not inappropriately, but just so that they knew if they had a question, they could ask me. I'm not going to lie about it.
Comfortable to come to you.
Yeah, because they already know that I mean, I'm sure they learned things other places.
Right.
But I tried to make sure that I was on the forefront so that they would trust me and trust Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And I think that's like the biggest thing, I guess, is like when you go to your kids, make sure that you're just coming out of a place of like love and letting them know that the feelings are good. Yeah. You know, it's completely normal. That their bodies are okay.
Yep. They're exactly how God made them.
Yeah.
That's what I tell all my kids. Yep.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah. And 2, to build on the foundation. So if there's people watching or listening and they have little kids, okay, perfect. You haven't even started yet. So start at a foundation where your children trust what you say and you're the teacher. Yeah. Right. And not like their phone, or I don't know if they have phones, but you know what I'm saying? The TV is not the teacher, or the little kids in school are not the teacher. You're the teacher. And it builds from a place of trust. Yes. That carries on all the way through to till they're young adults. I mean, just last night, my oldest daughter, we got her when she was 10. So I didn't have her formative years, but She called me last night and asked me something, and I just said, Hannah, I love that you call me and ask me, because I tried to lay the foundation that I will always tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, or please, that's not what I'm saying, but I will always tell my kids the truth, whether about sex, whether about whatever. Money, they know, Mark and I's money, how much we make, where we spend it, how we spend it, why we spend it the way we spend it. Yeah.
Yeah. And just open and like transparency.
Transparent. Yeah. Because how are they going to learn how to be young adults or married or navigate relationships if you don't share anything about being a young adult or married or navigating relationships?
Yes.
Yep.
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this was like so good. I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, is there anything else that we want to talk about?
What do we want to talk about?
Like, I secretly wanted to be like a sex therapist at one point in my life.
We need those, especially from a place where it comes from someone who's a believer. We do need those.
Could you imagine?
I used to think about...
I'll cook for you and I'll make sure your life is enjoyable.
Go in your room. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Talking from behind the curtain. Okay,
oh my
do
gosh.
this.
I'm like, hey.
That's so funny.
No, but yeah, I hope people ask us more questions like this so that I can bring you back on again.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
That would, if we just like all the time have sex questions.
I mean, like I haven't decided what the rest of like the next season's going to look like or anything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I feel like maybe, if this is up to you. Like, you gotta, my listeners, you gotta ask us the questions. Like, if you want us to have another episode, like, about this, like, it's up to you.
Oh, that's
so
good.
You gotta tell,
because if you want to know, we'll answer.
Yeah.
And think about all the women. Think about all the people in the church, not just women.
Yeah.
Men are worse than women.
Oh, yeah.
Where they don't
won't
have
ask.
good relationships, right? And they are never vulnerable.
Right.
And so they're not asking, does your wife ever struggle with having sex? I mean, they're not going to ask another dude that. They're just,
they go on Reddit.
They should. Oh, they go on Reddit.
Actually, I don't know if Matt goes on Reddit, but I go on Reddit.
That's so funny.
I'd be reading through there like, oh my Lord.
Yeah. But a place where people can come and ask you to ask the questions, I think that's awesome.
I think it'd be good. We need to set up like an anonymous question box on our website.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, that's so good. This is the Lord be speaking.
Oh my gosh.
This is so good. Oh my gosh. So, also I didn't tell you this.
Oh.
But I love making your husband feel uncomfortable.
Oh, he did tell me this.
Did he tell you?
Yeah, no, he told me, he did tell me that you said that.
That I told him I was knocked up?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, hey, how are you? And he's like, congratulations. And I was like, on what? Being knocked up? And he's like, Mila.
He's so used to me that probably when other women are verbal, that he's probably shocked by it.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
he
thinks I'm so loud.
Yeah.
And I am loud.
Yeah.
But then somebody else comes along. I'm like, yes.
Oh, it was so funny. And so I told him, I was like, are you excited that your wife's going to be on my podcast? And he was like, no.
Why? Because he knows I'll just say things.
Yeah, he was like,
knows.
I'm so scared. I said, well, you should be because it's all about sex.
Oh, did you?
He was like, Mila, no.
That is so funny. He's probably going to, when he listens to this, he's going to be like, oh, no. Oh, she said everything about the shower. Oh, about this thing here with my friend. Oh, my gosh.
Don't get all dried up.
Yeah,
friends.
I'm like, babe, we have to have sex. It's been 3 days. He's like, Ton. I'm like, no. And I just do that because he knows I don't want to be dry. It's so bad.
No,
okay.
It's so good. Listen, we all need people like in our lives who are going to tell us the freaking truth.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing.
And like, not be offended.
Yes.
When you hear the truth, just be glad for it.
If people weren't here telling me like, like, hey, telling me the truth or whatever, like I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's that. So anyways, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I hope we get to do this again. Mm-hmm. Send me your questions. And, but most of all, thank you to our listeners, to our customers for, being a part of this. And I hope that you learned something. And I just want to say, don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on all the things, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. That's all of them, right? Yeah, you could subscribe to my like emails too. That would be great because I get to talk to you
I want to subscribe to your emails.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
I'm going to be on there today.
I'm like,
Subscribing.
Sometimes I talk crap. Sometimes I talk about food. I do, all the things. But I like it because I get to share like a part of like whatever I'm going through, because we're always going through something,
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much for your time. I love you. I'll see you next time on Okayish Advice. Tanti Bachi.
You said Okayish Advice.